Good evening, you're watching a brand new week of Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, the Prime Minister faces flack from the opposition and on social media for saying that despite being a woman, Sheikh Hasina has zero tolerance for terrorism. Were the Prime Minister's comments in Dhaka sexist or is he being misunderstood? Also tonight, it's official, Nitish Kumar will be the chief ministerial face of the new anti-BJP alliance in Bihar. Lalu swears that he's on board and is ready to drink all kinds of poison for it. But will it last? Is this a forced alliance? That's coming up in about 30 minutes. But first tonight, Prime Minister Modi is facing a lot of flack on social media and from the Congress today for his remark that his Bangladesh counterpart Sheikh Hasina has resolved to fight terrorism with zero tolerance despite being a woman. The Prime Minister made the comments during a lecture at Dhaka University on Sunday. There has been a huge backlash on Twitter with the hashtag despite being a woman trending most of the day, while the Congress has also hit out accusing the PM of calling women cowards. You can judge for yourself.
मुझे खुशी की बात है कि बांग्लादेश के प्रधानमंत्री एक महिला होने के बावजूद भी डंके की चोट पर कह रही है कि टेररिज्म के संबंध में मेरा जीरो टॉलरेंस है.
He thought that he was praising, but more than once he said कि शेख हसीना जी को मैं बधाई देता हूं कि वो महिला होते हुए भी आतंकवाद से लड़ रही है. ये महिलाओं का सम्मान करना नहीं है. इंदिरा जी भी महिला थी, शेख हसीना महिला है, पर वो अपने देश की नेता है, प्रधानमंत्री हैं. तो क्या कहना चाहते हैं कि महिला सख्त फैसले नहीं कर सकती, महिला बहादुर नहीं होती, महिला कायर होती हैं.
Was the Prime Minister being sexist or was he just misunderstood? On the program with us tonight, senior BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy here in the studio with us, Sharmishta Mukherjee, spokesperson of the Congress party, Ratan Sharda, thinker of the RSS, joins us tonight from Bangalore, and we've got Lakshmi Chaudhary, the executive editor of First Post, joining us tonight from Mumbai. Let me ask Mr. Swamy first. What do you think the Prime Minister was trying to say by this remark? You've seen the backlash today all day.
Yeah, I think it's an artificial backlash because you see, many years ago in 1971-72, it was very popularly said that Indira Gandhi is the only man in the cabinet. If you go back to that period, you will see that. And they consider that as a great compliment for her. So I think it was a very innocent remark. He was admiring her. He was saying that she was fighting terrorism. And in the context that aggression is more attributable to males than females, is a popular folklore. In that context, he said there was no degradation of a woman. It was actually, no Hindu can ever degrade a woman. Durga and Kali, you see, they know how to handle the worst possible demons. How can one say that a good Hindu would demean a woman by saying that she's a weakling?
But you do understand how many people would have seen it as saying that, well, you know, despite being a woman. You heard the comment, you know,
I heard the comment.
You see it in a different way.
But yeah, I think it's in the context that women are, you know, we see women as Ambika, where she's soft, she's gentle and so on, and fighting terrorism requires the form of a very fierce person. So in that context he said it. I don't think that he meant to say that women are inferior when it comes to physical.
All right, so Sharmishta Mukherjee strongly disagrees with you on that.
I would go by Dr. Subramaniam Swamy's, that we see women as Ambika, but we also see women as Durga. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Sansita. And Prime Minister Modi is worshipper of the way he keeps Navaratri. So how could he forget and how could he in his mind disassociate the strength of a woman, the fighting spirit of a woman, and Durga fought Mahishasur, the evil. And what is the greater evil of in today's context than terrorism? So why should he say despite, Bavjood? You know, it shows a very condescending attitude, a very parochial and patriarchal mindset. You know, it was, I'm sure Mr. Modi did not mean it. I mean, he probably, ironically, he meant it as a compliment. But it came across as a reflection of a mindset which is very parochial, which is very patriarchal, which is very patronizing towards women.
So you don't agree with Dr. Swamy's sort of positive interpretation of it?
I'm going by his statement only that yes, you know, and Mr. Modi is a worshipper of Durga. So women are not soft, even our old civilizational values. You know, we worship Durga as Shakti. So even by that standard, how could Mr. Modi forget that women are part of Shakti?
Let me take that question to Lakshmi Chaudhary next. Lakshmi, how do you see this entire row that's broken out, particularly over social media, and the way the Congress has reacted to it? Because the way I see it, maybe in a sense it reflects a kind of a patriarchal attitude across political parties. It's the way, I mean, there's so many politicians who've said things about women and what they think of women. It's not about Mr. Modi alone. It's perhaps a mindset.
Well, I don't know why anyone is surprised by Mr. Modi saying this. If you remember, candidate Modi went to the FICCI Ladies Organization, and all his stories were about women cooking for their children. His example of female courage was a young wife who would cry if she scorched her finger making chapati, but would run into a blazing fire if her child was trapped in there, and leave a sari sale while she was at it. So he has a very old-fashioned notion of appreciating women or women's courage. It comes from being a mother tiger. So, perhaps a woman turns into Durga when she has to protect her family. It's sort of very 1950s, 1960s Bollywood. So it's that kind of notion of female courage, that women are not naturally aggressive, but they will if they have to protect their own. So in his mind, yes, I agree with Mr. Swamy. He was probably paying a compliment, but it's 2015. That's not the kind of compliment women appreciate anymore, especially because it has nothing to do with reality, I think. The reality of women and the lives they lead.
Interesting examples that you cited there, Lakshmi. I'll take that to Ratan Sharda. Mr. Sharda, as Lakshmi was saying, that even in the past, when Mr. Modi has spoken, and even other politicians, when we look at women as mothers, as daughters, as sisters. You had a BJP MLA saying yesterday that mothers, BJP mothers wouldn't be making Maggie for their children. It's lazy mothers who make Maggie, and that also stirred up a storm. So is this just a cultural mindset that we've all grown up with?
Nidhi, let me put 2-3 points across. Let me first of all say that Hindus or RSS were the first people to congratulate Indira Gandhi as Durga, incarnation of Durga after 1971 win. And there is a tradition of worshipping power, worshipping ladies at the incarnation of Durga. So there is no way we could actually degrade or talk ill about any women, first of all. Secondly, if you look at the context, he was speaking about a prime minister in a Muslim country which is in the danger of taken over by Islamist forces. There is a chance of a coup of Islamic forces all these years, and that is the courage she has shown. Remember what happened to Benazir Bhutto? Remember what happens to women in other Islamic countries?
But Bangladesh is a very different country, sir. Bangladesh is a very different country where women are actually very emancipated. It's not Saudi Arabia. It's a very different country where women are very proud of their independence.
Nidhi, but see, fine, but look at the overall context. Look at the context that she is fighting against very regressive Islamic forces who are trying to overthrow her all these years. She has faced multiple coups. In all that, she has stood up. So take it as a compliment for her rather than trying to split hair. It's nothing but a storm in the Twitter cup. Secondly, also remember, whenever Modi goes out, media always creates a storm to somehow overshadow whatever he does. For Congress, fine. Congress is basically Rudali.
Why are you blaming
very
the media?
Poor loser. So whatever Modi does, they will keep on crying.
You haven't seen the headlines in the newspapers this morning.
I have gone through all the debates.
Which talks about how the Prime Minister wowed the audience in Dhaka with his speech. Was that the media stirring up trouble?
Nidhi, let us understand, we are in the cusp of a very radical change in the society. On one side, we have women who belong to 21st century. We have women who are in 20th century. We have very regressive society which lives in 18th century. In all this changeover from the earlier society, the new cultural moves, even the language used, Indian language or regional language that are used, if you translate that language today, you will be called parochial, you will be called patriarchal. So you cannot use any more the sayings or the phrases which are used earlier in the society. But this sensitivity which is very high on the modern women or typical Twitter crowd is not so at the common level.